So I've thought about doing this video for a while now, and I decided to go ahead and talk about things because so many situations just keep arising where I feel things need to be said. My audience may not be as big as some other channels or as other people or celebrities or whatever, but at least I still have a voice, and I'm going to use it because one thing that I've always believed in, which is a quote from Spider-Man, is with great power comes great responsibility. And I might not have great power, but we usually have more than what we think. And I want to continue to stand up for things that I believe need to be stood up for. So, hello, I'm Isaki, and as the title of this video probably says, I was touched when I was very little, and I won't be answering any questions. Whatever I say here is going to be all that I kind of say on this. So let's go back many years ago to when I was either in late 4th or early 5th grade, sometime around that time period. I don't know exactly because I didn't write it down, I didn't really talk about it, I kind of forgot about things, and then remembered, and then would kind of forget and remembered. So during this time, myself and my family would go to a Bible group on Wednesdays and Saturdays or something, and we go over this man and wife's house, and we would study, and we knew them for a while. And one time we got there, and I was a very friendly and happy child. I would always go and say hello and greet everyone. We were the first people there. So family went and talked with his wife in the kitchen or wherever. I went to go say hello to the gentleman. No, he's not a gentleman. To the man. And I don't really want to say his name because I don't like his name, and I don't have good associations with that name anymore, and it's kind of hard for me to say anyways, so I'm not going to. So I went into his office room, and he was sitting down in an office chair in front of his computer. I walked up and said, hello, we're here, what are you doing? You know, just something like that, like a little kid would say. And we knew them for a little while, I'm not exactly sure how long, but for a little while enough, and them supposed to be a member of the church, and I won't say what religion because I don't think that really matters. You're supposed to be able to trust these people. You're just supposed to be able to trust people in general. And I was raised always to understand that there are not always nice people in the world. That someone comes up to you and offers you candy, you scream no, you run away. Someone tries to touch you, you scream no and run away. I had a book, and I think the book was called No. And I would roleplay with family, and they'd pretend oh, hello, little girl, you want some candy? And I'd be like, no! And I was raised that way. I knew when something was wrong. And so when I went up to this person, I didn't you're just supposed to, I didn't think anything bad. I didn't think anything bad was ever going to happen to me. I mean, I'm little though, so, and I didn't ever think someone like that could be bad. What he did was, instead of leaning over and like, giving me a hug, because you gotta understand I'm short and I've always been kind of little. So him sitting down, my head was very close to like where his face was, and he reached around me and he grabbed my butt and kind of like held me there, and I froze. I was really uncomfortable. I felt something was wrong, and then he leaned over and he kissed my neck. And I don't like to say that. It makes me very, like, I'm not clean. I know. For a long time, it's like whenever I think about these things, and it's always kind of hard to say that part, I just like, I want to like claw my neck. And I know what happened to me is very minor compared to things that have happened to other people. And the reason why I'm telling this story is for 2 reasons, which I will get into at the end here. So, like I said, it was very uncomfortable after a moment though. Like it was slow, and it was awkward. I walked out of there. I went and told my family. I think immediately I kind of like pulled them to the side or something, and I told them what happened. And they made me tell them what happened multiple times. This is someone's house that I would like fall asleep over and sleep in their guest room with a giant bear and everything, and it was supposed to be a place of being safe and relaxed. Unfortunately, my family didn't really, I guess, believe me. As I got older, I think they realized more what happened. Just like when I was little, you don't fully understand, you can't comprehend the vulgarity and the severity of the situation, even if it is something as small as that. What I was told by my family was just to not be alone in the room with them anymore. I don't know if my family found out before or after this happened, but that man was a pedophile. He touched his own children. His wife did nothing about it. When something happened to me, nothing was done about it. Another little girl, and there were a couple little girls in our group, our like Bible study kind of group, that were there. One of them, and I was never disclosed on who, so I don't know which one it was, also had something happen to them. We kept going back to this person's house for a while. Fortunately, nothing again happened to me because I was never alone with them again. If I was older when this happened and I could comprehend what had happened, I would not have been able to go back there. I would have screamed and shouted and cried, and I cannot at this point still understand the mindset of someone who knows that a little girl was touched and you allow them to go be back around that person again. And eventually this person was caught. He tried to meet other little girls online and have them meet him at a hotel room and stuff, and he was caught by an undercover cop who was pretending to be the kid. So bravo to undercover cops. You have my greatest respect and gratitude. Unfortunately, this person is now not in jail anymore. Well, he might be. I don't know his whereabouts or what happened. This person did go to jail for what he did. And someone that I trusted helped them to get out of prison, jail, whatever. And I forgot that. I forgot that for many years. I don't know. I don't understand how I could have forgot that. But I did. And it disgusts me. It makes me, it hurts me. And I cannot understand why someone would help. I am extremely against pedophiles. So the reason why I'm telling this story, because I know once I say it and it gets published, there's no taking it back, and now everyone knows, is because of two reasons. One, now that I'm older, and as I get older, you keep realizing more and more things. Like, the main thing for me is that nothing was done about it on my part. If his wife cared enough and had the guts enough to stand up to him when their kids were first touched, he would have been in jail much long, like, way before. I would not have been touched. The other little girl in my group would not have been touched. And who knows if anything had happened between his kids and me, because that was just too big of a time period. He had grandkids that he wasn't really allowed to see, and who knows if really anything happened to them. Too many times have I heard from someone that I care about, something has happened, and you don't realize how many people around you have had this kind of thing happen to them because they don't talk about it. And it's very hard to talk about it. If it's hard enough for me to talk about something so small, I can only imagine the emotions and the confusion and just the disgust that other people can feel. And this not only happens to women, it happens to men. And I'm sure it's even harder for a man to say something because it's so much less that it happens to a guy than to a girl. And we put on society the image of a man should be strong and silent and, you know, just this emotionless kind of rock. But things happen to boys and girls and all kinds of ages. And I think more people need to realize that I know it's hard for you to talk about this. And I know it's hard for things to, that's hard to talk about, and it's hard to get it out. Even the justice system's not always correct. But people need to say something, because if you stay silent, that person probably is gonna do something else again to someone else. And if not only for yourself to seek justice, at least I think it should be said and made a deal about, and try to get them behind bars for the sake of others. If you, like, I know I would not want even what happened to me to happen to anyone, even if I don't like them. I wouldn't wish on any of the people who have given me crap for this channel, or for anything at all. I would not. No, it's so morally wrong. I couldn't do it. So I really implore you guys to have use of your voice, to speak up about it. And I know it's hard, and maybe it happened a couple days ago, maybe it happened a few weeks ago, months ago, but we need to react. We need to stop staying silent. So many people have been through it, and that's so sad, and that needs to stop. Maybe it won't go away fully, probably won't, because there's always going to be evil in this world, but we can do something about it. Secondly, my point is that if you have a friend, have a child, a grandchild, and they come to you about this, do not think that person that they are talking about is going to be 100% pure. This guy was a person of the church who led a Bible study group, and nothing against religion or the Bible. I believe in the Bible still and everything. But people, not everyone is righteous. It could be a friend that you think is great and then they touch your kid. It could be a family member. It could be a stranger. Do not push aside that person's story and think that they're making it up, or think that, oh, that person, no way that could be done. Because yes, some people do make up stories. Most of the time it's going to be really true, and it's going to be really freaking hard for them to even come to you and tell you, and for you to just write it off and not make a deal out of it. That's wrong. That is so wrong. I hope that by my sharing what happened to me, that this has maybe opened your eyes to how people can be, and to make sure and listen to someone, especially when you care about them. Stay safe, everyone, okay?